Just a little update about where we are, how we're feeling. It's day 3. We've been racing with day 4. We've been racing 72 hours now exactly. 42 nautical miles out from Tasman Island. We'll make the round around the island and head up to Derwent home. Possibly our last day on the water. We might arrive sometime in about the 10 to 12 o'clock mark tonight, which will be less than 3.5 days for a 49-foot cruising boat. We've raced very hard. For me, it's been an amazing time. It's a plan that I made from my hospital bed 15 months ago that I wanted to compete in this race. A lot of things had to happen for that to happen, and my whole life has been about this moment. I don't have a plan for tomorrow because for the last 15 months it's been about planning to get to this point here. When I had my surgery for my double bypasses, it was scary. Life changes. You think that you're going to live forever, and now it's about appreciating every day that you get while you've got it. You don't take life for granted anymore, and I had a series of events that I wanted to tick those boxes this year. I've been able to complete every one of those goals, and against the odds be able to compete in this race. The surgeons weren't hopeful. They said I needed more time. A lot of people thought the same. I always believed in myself, and along the way a lot of people haven't agreed with the things that I've done. But I've done what I thought was right, and I think in this position I only need to answer to myself. When my unfortunate circumstances happened, it became very public, and we made it very public through Facebook, and that was because I wanted to give everyone updates along the way. I didn't want to make 100 phone calls. It was easier to put it on Facebook and be open and public about something that a lot of people would consider very private. But along the way, that's become a very open journey for me, and there's a lot of people, some of whom I still haven't met, that I guess are looking to me for hope in their own battles. So it no longer became about what I wanted, it became about what I felt needed to be done, because I put myself in a position where people were looking to me for answers in their own life, and this is the best way that I can deliver it. And I want to be remembered that I never gave up, and there were plenty of times along the way where I had my doubts. I lost a lot of confidence in my ability along the way, and my strength, and there were things that my mind wanted to do that my body wouldn't let me. Heart surgery is not fun at all, and it takes a long time to recover. I was arrogant in the way that I thought being younger would be easier. It hasn't been. And it will stem back to my first goal was being able to compete on my boat Spank at Port Douglas Race Week. The photos look great, but the struggle was very real. I had a great crew in Shane and James, everyone else that sailed on the boat with me, Chris, Nathan, and I needed those guys to have my back, and they did, and I got the job done, but barely. I decided to sail the Taser to give me confidence on the water, and that was also had its challenges at times. I wasn't strong enough. The first race I competed at Tinaroo, I only competed in 2 of the 10 races. There's also learning my social skills again. I've seen a lot of mates up there that I hadn't seen for a long time, and they obviously cared a lot about me and showed me that care, but it was mentally exhausting having to deal with that, tell everybody about how I feel. It isn't until you have something happen like this in your life that you realise how many good people that you have around you, and the comments and messages in the hundreds. It's been overwhelming, and you don't want to let everybody down, so that creates some pressure, and it's very hard. But we've got here now. The journey, it's never been about the destination as much as the journey, and it's been one hell of a journey, and I can't wait till we can put some of those videos together. It's been the biggest emotional roller coaster of my life, and there's several people that I just could not have done this without. And Kate and Jenny back at home in Saman, those girls are awesome. They're a big part of my life. They're my sisters. They take care of Layla, and they give me the freedom to be able to do these things. And at times it's cost themselves a lot of time and money for my dreams. And I'll never forget those three for allowing me to live the way that I do, so that I can achieve my goals. And they know how important that is to me, and they're the three most important people in my life. A couple of people in Sydney, very special people, Janie Trevelyan, Paul Judge. Without those two, Shane Guara, giving me encouragement every day. As you know, that I had a plan that fell apart. It's worked out in our favour anyway. I wouldn't be on this boat if it wasn't for Paul Judge introducing me to this crew, and I wouldn't be in Sydney if it wasn't for Janie Trevelyan giving me somewhere to stay. The other 100 people around the yacht club every day giving me the encouragement, sticking out. Thank you very much. It means the world to me. You're all a part of this journey for me. I'm excited about arriving in Hobart, but as I said, I don't have a future plan in my life as of tomorrow. Everything stems to this one goal, and I'm very, very proud of myself for achieving it. It's been a dream run to Hobart so far. It wasn't a fast one like Wild Oats 11 or our friends on the TP52s, but this is the way that I've enjoyed it the most. It's been very comfortable. Michael Trump and Mikey on board, Lars, Aria, Pete, Tomiko and Freddie, 7 new friends that they'll be a part of my life and my memory now forever. And thank you for having me on board. The way they like to sail their boat, they like to sail it hard and fast, but we've also been comfortable, and I think in this particular ride and where I'm at in my point with my health and my fitness, it's been the best way to do it for me. We've been very comfortable on board here. Beautiful Genoa 49. We've had some good meals, slept well. Haven't spent a lot of time on the rail, so for the boys that did it hard, you've earned your stripes. Can't wait to see everyone in Hobart. There's a couple of people that tried to stop me from doing this, and they failed, and that's their issue, and they're going to have to deal with that. They've ruined their own time here and their own race in trying to get even with me, and that's something they're going to have to deal with. But this bunch of guys and the people around me didn't let that interfere. They picked me up every day. For the people in Port Douglas, I'm very, very proud to represent my little town, the place I love, the place I call home, here in the Sydney to Hobart, joined by fellow competitor Mal Richardson on turbulence. We're a very small sailing community, but we're a passionate one, and we've got Port Douglas Race Week coming up in May, and we invite everybody to get up there and come on board. It's very nice to have Pete Chapman from Port Douglas also down the yacht club. He's like a father figure to me. He came down to Sydney and picked me up, put me back on track. I was ready to go home. There was various times along the driving down from Port Douglas where I felt like turning around. I felt like I wasn't ready. I'm glad I didn't. And all I can say to other people is, whatever it is in your goals and your journeys, that they don't come easy, and you've got to fight for them. And there will be people that will try and push you down. And again, you just have to put that aside and accept that that's their issues and their problems, and that's something they're going to have to face. for my family. I'm very, very happy and very proud of myself. Thank you for your support and believing in me. A lot of people know quite publicly I didn't have a lot to do with my mother in the last 20 years, but that doesn't matter anymore. She came to me on the most important day when I needed her the most, and that was the day that I ended up in hospital. And I talk to Mum now most days, and my greatest fear in life was never making good with Mum and getting to a situation where one of us passed away without ever being able to say the words "I love you" again. And I want you to know, Mum, that I do love you, and I've thought about you a lot here, and I know that you're very proud. I'm happy to have you back in my life. It's absolutely beautiful out here. In terms of Hobart, you can't ask for a better run. We've had a northerly run the whole way down. It's been kite up most of the way, as you can see right now. Westerly's blowing us in, kite up, 10 knots, blowing us fast in towards the Dow, and it hasn't been your typical Hobart with a southerly. We had a moment of southerly. Interesting crossing across Bass Strait. We had 35 knots, 40 knots up our arse. Big waves, but it was very, very enjoyable. There were some moments of excitement. Some yachts passing behind us, at times disappearing between the waves, but none of it was scary. We look back on it now and really loved it. So this video's starting to drag on a little bit now, but everybody's seen me through the hard times of my life, and I think it's time that I share some of the better times. As I said, hundreds and hundreds of people along the way. Just in Sydney alone, I had 3 or 4 people come up to me at the Cruising Yacht Squadron, people that were on my Facebook, introduced themselves, of whom I'd never met before, and told me about how they followed my journey and what it meant to them in their life. And it just brings tears to your eyes to realise that you are special to somebody, somewhere, for something. And again, it comes with pressure. It was the very thing that made me not quit and go home when things got tough. It's very inspiring, and you can become an unintentional role model to others, and when you do that, it's important that you see that through. And seeing the finish of this race, because I said that's what I was going to do, was important to see that through, because there could be someone sitting at home that's watching you, and they're looking for you for that drive, for that inspiration, and I hope that I've been able to give something back. One of the best things that ever happened to me since this operation is Christmas Day last year. Kelly Evans from Port Douglas sent me a message and said, "You may well have just saved my father's life." And I thought she had me confused with somebody else. But she said to me, I said, I think you've got the wrong person, Kelly. And she said, "No, my father was suffering some symptoms today that me and my mum were concerned about." We went back through your Facebook page, and I described the symptoms of what I was going through when I had a heart attack, and that's exactly what her father was going through. And they called an ambulance, and may well have saved his life. And you don't get a better Christmas present than that. And for that reason, I've never regretted making this journey a public one, because awareness is something that we're not. I was never aware of the symptoms of angina and what causes heart attack, or that it's in my family. It's important that you know your history, and if you don't, I recommend that you, especially approaching the age of 40, that you get onto that and find out about what's in your family and what you can do to put in place to take care of that. The doctors are amazing. And I can't thank enough the Cairns and Townsville Hospital, the emergency services that took me to hospital, to and from the hospitals. Royal Flying Doctor Surgery flew me from from Cairns to Townsville. They will be my charity from now on for the rest of my life. Those guys are absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I can't wait to do, and that's why this Sydney to Hobart was most important, is now to be able to go and visit people in in Cairns and Townsville hospitals. Someone that may be suffering. I know what it's like 15 months ago to discover that you've just had a heart attack and that you're up for potential bypass surgery. It is frightening. I cannot express the emotions that go through your mind. You'll see them in later videos because I do talk about them. And to be able to walk in there and sit there on their bed and say to them, I was you 15 months ago, and I just competed in the Rolex Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race, and I hope that will give them some hope. And that's all I've got to be able to give back for all the help that was given to me, and that's why this journey has been so important to me. Anyway, I've just taken up 16 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. We are going to get into Hobart tonight sometime, and we are ready to party with all our friends. Out.